also do, is they provide information about the relative costs and benefits of different courses of action. And how do we know that our actions, perhaps designed to help people, are actually having a greater benefit than the cost? You know, it doesn't make much sense to drive to Newcastle to give someone a free meal, let's say, if the cost of the petrol exceeds the cost of the meal. So it needs some sort of way of evaluating different courses of action. And prices perform that function. So just to finish, to return to my earlier point that we need to make a comparative evaluation of capitalism and socialism. The problem that faces socialism, and I'm conscious that you, on reading your website, you don't believe there are such things, socialist economies existing. So just taking socialism purely theoretically. The problem that faces socialism, or any attempt to deliberately plan an economy, is that planners cannot and do not possess the information about people's preferences, tastes, values, needs that are required to plan an economy. That information doesn't exist in a cohesive block that can be used by planners. And moreover, if you give planners, if planners attempt to gather that information, it will lead to the bureaucratisation of society. From my point of view, it's not just chance that whenever people have attempted to introduce socialism, it's led to huge bureaucracies. It's an inherent flaw in the theory of socialism. Similarly, that power to plan the economy, to plan society, is too great a power to give anybody. You know, I don't think there's any person that can be trusted with that amount of power. Again, that's why in the name of socialism, let's say, you have huge abuses of power. Because again, it's inherently implied by the theory of socialism, I would argue. So, to finish then, I'll say that the benefits of capitalism clearly, enormous amount of wealth creation that have been present in human history. The problem with socialism, though I think in many ways it's a fine theory, it'd be great if it could be worked. The problem with socialism is that any attempt to introduce it in practice leads to the creation of enormous bureaucracies, the empowerment of small groups of people, planners, and ultimately disaster for the people that socialists are trying to help.
We'll now hand over to Richard Headicar, who is representing the Socialist Party.
The problem with speaking second, of course, is that the first speaker raises all these questions. You're very tempted to answer them, but forget what you were going to say yourself. A fatal mistake, of course. Especially, I was taken by his chart when I saw it came from the Heritage Foundation, which has featured largely in my speeches, as many of you know. But I resist the temptation to deal with them. I also resist the temptation to deal with his ideas of what a socialist is. Instead, I'm going to concentrate on some of the things I know about free marketeers and what they say. A different picture, perhaps, to what John has presented. But first, some good news. Gun sales in the United States have increased dramatically in the past year. Clearly, even in the midst of a recession, the ethics and enterprise of the market economy continue to flourish very well. One of the books that significantly influenced my thinking was a science fiction book called Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. Listening to free market advocates such as John, I feel a stranger here myself, unable to recognize the place he describes with such obvious conviction, a kind of mystical, more likely mythical market operating within capitalism, awash with virtuous business transactions, wherein the streets are paved with ethics. I only wish it was so. I wish I could believe it were possible, that a bountiful river of free market enterprise could flow into every corner of the globe, bringing relief, comfort, and liberation to us all. To operate such a market successfully, John himself admits, you need a reputation for honesty and probity, etc. But this is not seen by him as an obstacle. Or he believes, and I quote, that the market engenders ethical behaviour. Indeed, he goes much further and boldly asserts that market participation is a prerequisite for virtue. Democracy, however, he has said, is not a prerequisite for a market economy. He has little doubt, according to what I've read on the web, that crime would become less of a problem. In an interview, which you can read on the web yourselves, so you know I'm not making it up, he said people who go to the wall in our society, for instance people serving just prison sentences, tend to be people who have never participated in the market. Well, I think we can remember a few exceptions to that particular rule. Few socialists would dissent from what David Friedman, a free marketeer, said about the basic desire of libertarians. The central idea of libertarianism is that people should be free to run their own lives as they wish. And speaking with many libertarians, I accept that this would embrace the need to act with consideration towards other people in that society. And of course I accept that John genuinely believes in the moral supremacy of the market, that only a truly free market, unhindered by government, can ensure the continuing prosperity or indeed actual survival of the species. And that money is simply an essential part of a vital and liberating economic mechanism. I never know when I've got a low lectern like this whether I should take my glasses on or off, but I'll persevere with this. I must confess that whenever I stray into the gloomy labyrinth of economic calculation and marginal utility and Laffer curves and invisible hands, it is with a deep sense of relief that I emerge, usually in one piece. It has been well said that if you lined up all the economists in the world end to end, they would still not reach a conclusion. John is no maverick in these matters. Hayek, von Mises, David and Milton Friedman and many others share his beliefs and no doubt inspired some of them. The institutions of private property are regarded as the machinery of freedom. But you know, there is a sort of absolute fundamentalist confidence, almost blinding faith in these convictions about the free market. Listen to this from Hayek. Our civilization depends not only for its origin, but also its preservation on what can only be described as an extended order of human cooperation, an order commonly known as capitalism. Previously, I used the word mystical, and there does seem to be an almost spiritual dimension to some of their arguments. Here are a few examples illustrating this. Money is indispensable for extending reciprocal cooperation beyond the limits of human awareness. My goodness me. I never thought of money like that before. They appear to presume that life cannot exist outside of their monetary galaxy. I quote again, among founders of religions over the last 2,000 years, many opposed property